In the heart of an ancient and crumbling temple, the air crackled with the intense energy of two formidable forces. The dark and shadowy figure of Darth Bane, shrouded in his black cloak, stood with his red lightsaber ignited, its glow casting eerie shadows on the worn stone walls. Opposite him, Dylan E.T., bearing the unique scathe, prepared for a duel that would test the very limits of his skills and the power of the 3DGR three-dimensional golden rhombus. Click 0, the initial state. Dylan E.T. assumed the row stance, a position marked by stability and readiness. His eyes, sharp and focused, locked onto Darth Bane. The air between them seemed to vibrate with anticipation, each warrior poised for the initial clash. Dylan's row, orange 8 counter stance with the 3DGR pommel positioned at his thumbs indicated a defensive posture, ready to react and counter any attack. Darth Bane stood tall, his demeanor exuding the dark confidence of a Sith Lord. His red lightsaber hummed ominously, and he readied himself to unleash the full force of the dark side against his opponent. Click 1, binding the A3DGR. With a swift, almost ritualistic motion, Dylan E.T. brought Scave's 3DGR pommel to his chest, binding the additional 3DGR A3DGR in a gesture reminiscent of a gorilla pounding its chest. This action symbolized the fusion of Dylan's spirit with the metaphysical power of the 3DGR, amplifying his combat abilities and attuning his senses to the impending battle. The air around Dylan shimmered with an ethereal glow, signifying the activation of this extraordinary power. Darth Bane sensed the shift in energy and responded with a menacing grin. He felt the dark side surge within him, a swirling storm of hatred and power, as he prepared to crush this unusual adversary. Click 2, movement towards the target. In a fluid motion, Dylan E.T. transitioned into the Enguard, Blue 3 S-stock stance. His grip adjusted, aligning Scave's edged blade towards Darth Bane, with the 3DGR pommel now emerging from the base of his palm. This stance emphasized a balanced approach, blending offensive and defensive capabilities. Dylan advanced with purpose, his movements precise and calculated, every step echoing the weight of his experience and the depth of his connection to the 3DGR. Darth Bane, undeterred, met Dylan's approach with a powerful strike. Their weapons clashed, the lightsaber's crimson blade against the mystical aura of Scathe, creating a burst of light and sound. The temple walls reverberated with the impact, ancient stones trembling under the force of their collision. Click 3, return to stance. After the initial exchange, Dylan E.T. deftly withdrew into the pike, red 2 draw stance. In this configuration, Scave's wooden grip rotated, the blade now angled towards himself, with the 3DGR pommel appearing from the base of his palm. This stance signified a preparation for a swift and powerful draw, a stance that combined both defensive readiness and the potential for explosive counterattacks. Darth Bane, a master tactician, sensed the shift in Dylan's stance and prepared for another offensive maneuver. His lightsaber, guided by the dark side, slashed through the air towards Dylan's position, aiming to overpower and overwhelm. Click sequence continues. The battle continued in a rapid and intricate dance of moves and countermoves. Dylan E.T. transitioned through multiple strings of the click sequence, each combination unleashing a different aspect of his martial prowess. Click 0 in Viper, Green 9 Coupe, Scave's blade angled towards Darth Bane, focusing on fluid, quick strikes aimed at bypassing the Sith Lord's defenses. Click 1, another binding of the A3DGR, Dylan's spiritual energy surging as he prepared for the next engagement. Click 2, advancing in the row, orange 8 counter stance, Dylan's movements became unpredictable, blending counters with sudden offensive bursts. Click 3, retreating to Enguard, Blue 3 S-stock, Dylan maintained a poised and balanced stance, ready to adapt to any attack Bane might unleash. As the duel raged on, the temple became a cauldron of swirling energies, Dylan E.T.'s calm and harmonious aura clashing with the raw, malevolent power of Darth Bane. Each warrior drew upon their unique strengths, Dylan harnessing the cosmic wisdom of the 3DGR, while Bane channeled the destructive fury of the dark side. In this epic confrontation, Dylan ET's mastery of the 3DGR and the intricate sequences of Skave's movements faced the relentless and brutal force of Darth Bane's Sith techniques. The outcome remained uncertain, but the battle itself was a testament to the boundless possibilities of skill, strategy, and the mystical powers that each combatant wielded. The echoes of their duel would resonate through the annals of history, a legendary clash between two powerful beings, each embodying the pinnacle of their respective arts. Intensifying the battle. As the clash between Dylan ET and Darth Bane intensified, each warrior's prowess and unique abilities became more apparent. Dylan's fluid transitions through the click sequences demonstrated his deep understanding of the 3DGR and its application in combat, while Bane's mastery of the dark side and his lightsaber technique revealed a formidable adversary. Click 0. The changing stances. Dylan ET shifted once again, this time into the pike, red 2 draw stance. The 3DGR pommel emerged from the base of his palm, with Skave's blade angled towards himself. This stance emphasized a defensive posture, preparing Dylan to counter any aggressive move by Darth Bane with a swift and precise draw. Darth Bane recognized the defensive nature of Dylan's stance and decided to press the attack, seeking to overwhelm Dylan with a relentless barrage of powerful strikes. His lightsaber hummed with dark energy as he advanced, each step echoing his malevolent intent. Click 1. Rebinding the A3DGR. As Dylan saw Bane's aggressive approach, he performed the binding of the A3DGR once more, bringing Skave's 3DGR pommel to his chest in a movement reminiscent of a gorilla's chest beat. This act not only fortified Dylan's resolve but also recharged his connection to the mystical energies of the 3DGR, preparing him for the next phase of the battle. Bane, sensing the surge of energy from Dylan, responded by channeling the dark side into his attacks, his lightsaber becoming a blur of red as he aimed to break through Dylan's defenses. The temple's atmosphere grew heavy with the dark and light energies clashing, each combatant's aura affecting the very air around them. Click 2. The attack. In a swift motion, Dylan ET transitioned into the Viper, Green 9 Coupe stance. Skave's blade was now angled towards Darth Bane, with the 3DGR pommel emerging from his thumbs. This stance focused on fluid, rapid strikes, allowing Dylan to deliver quick, precise attacks aimed at finding weaknesses in Bane's defenses. Dylan launched a series of attacks, Skave's blade moving with lightning speed and precision. Each strike was accompanied by a subtle shift in stance and angle, exploiting the versatility of the 3DGR. The air filled with the sounds of clashing blades and the crackling energy of their weapons. Darth Bane, not one to be easily outmaneuvered, met Dylan's strikes with calculated parries and counters. His experience and connection to the dark side allowed him to anticipate and react to Dylan's movements, turning each exchange into a deadly game of strategy and reflexes. Click 3. Strategic withdrawal. After the fierce exchange, Dylan ET tactically withdrew into the Endguard, Blue 3 stocked stance, aligning Skave's blade towards Bane with the 3DGR pommel emerging from the palm base. This stance allowed Dylan to balance defense and offense, preparing for any follow-up attacks from Bane while keeping his options open for a counterattack. Darth Bane, sensing an opportunity, unleashed a powerful force push, aiming to throw Dylan off balance. Dylan, however, grounded himself and absorbed the impact, his connection to the 3DGR helping him resist the powerful dark side energy. The momentary pause gave both warriors a chance to reassess their strategies, the tension palpable in the ancient hall. The turning point. With each click sequence, Dylan ET and Darth Bane exchanged strikes, parries, and counters, each testing the other's limits. Dylan's use of the 3DGR allowed him to adapt and respond to Bane's ferocity, while Bane's mastery of the dark side kept Dylan on the defensive. The battle was a perfect blend of raw power and intricate technique, with each combatant pushing the other to new heights. Dylan E.T. felt the rhythm of the battle shifting. He initiated another Click 0 sequence, this time entering the row, Orange 8 countered stance. As he bound the A3DGR with a powerful chest beat, he felt a surge of clarity and purpose. He knew this could be the decisive moment. Darth Bane, sensing the culmination of Dylan's energy, prepared for a final, overwhelming strike. His eyes burned with the dark side's fire, and his lightsaber hummed with deadly intent. The final clash. Dylan E.T. and Darth Bane charged at each other, their weapons a blur. Dylan executed a series of rapid Click 2 movements in the Viper, Green 9 Coupe stance, aiming for a swift and decisive strike. At the same time, Darth Bane unleashed a devastating series of blows, his lightsaber moving with blinding speed and power. As their weapons collided, the force of their duel sent shockwaves through the temple. The ancient stones cracked under the pressure, and the air was filled with the hum of lightsabers and the crackling of the 3DGR's mystical energy. Both warriors pushed themselves to their limits, their skills and powers clashing in a final, epic confrontation. The outcome. In a moment of clarity, Dylan E.T. saw an opening. With a final, decisive Click 3 movement, he withdrew into the pike, Red 2 draw stance, then executed a perfect counterattack. His blade moved like lightning, slipping past Bane's defenses and delivering a precise, decisive strike. Darth Bane, caught off guard, staggered back, his eyes widening in shock and disbelief. The temple seemed to hold its breath as the Sith Lord fell to his knees, the dark energy around him dissipating. Dylan E.T. stood tall, Skave's blade still poised, the 3DGR's glow slowly fading as the bottle's energy ebbed away. The ancient hall, now filled with the silence of the aftermath, bore witness to the epic clash. Dylan E.T. had triumphed, his mastery of the 3DGR and the Click sequences proving too formidable for even a Sith Lord. As he deactivated Scathe and looked down at the fallen Darth Bane, Dylan knew that this battle would become a legend, a story of courage, skill, and the eternal struggle between light and darkness.